All right, let me kick it off. All right, everyone, welcome to another edition of that Thursday AI Workstation Lunch and Learn. And my name is Danny Ross, and I'll be kicking it off. I'm going to turn it over to my partner and let him go ahead and give his introduction.
Hello, everyone. Thanks again for joining us. Hopefully, we will make this a recording. I just want to give a shout out to Danny, congratulating you, Danny, because you're only like 4 weeks behind on posting the training videos. So,
Actually, I was going to hire Tina to help me post them. The only problem is she has to edit them before we post them. So
yeah, so
I
the
don't
last
want
one
to
I
give
looked
her
at,
too much work, but I
the,
think we'll have
the,
to do that.
the last one I looked at was great in the editing, and I went back and looked at those trainings. Have a lot of value because of the things that we talk about. The last one, I think it was on July 17th. It was really incredible to me. It's about digital content and ownership. That's our data. We created that from a working group. Now we can monetize it because of the topics we were discussing. Each topic that we discuss in these trainings that have value and can be applied. And that's why we're here today. We are trying to learn, leverage, launch, and earn from artificial intelligence, but we want to do it ethically. I am happy to announce that we have been working with a new incubator center. It's called E3 Center, as most of you know. And we have talked to several stakeholders and the principals of that organization, including people who are already within the E3 Center. It's an entrepreneurial center, incubator sort of thing that have different businesses that are actually growing and trying to scale. They are under the umbrella of a large minority business enterprise contractor called Carter Lambert. Carter Lambert has developed this research center called E3, and it's run by a gentleman named Mr. Butler, Anthony Butler, a very capable individual. He's a tremendous connector, and so he has connected us to all these other players like Marvin Harris and Mr. Thomas Ellis. Mr. Thomas Ellis, he's a professional in sales and marketing. He has a system called, I believe, the Bud system. It's a strategy, just as Danny was in the same way to how you approach sales and your product and your services and negotiations and all that. He covers that sort of thing. He's done it well. The other individual is Marvin Harris, and he has a framework called Think. It essentially is in alignment with the 1000x AI create model, which teaches you how to talk to the large language models instead of context, results, the examples, the audience, and the tone, and things of that nature. He talks about it. He approaches it a little different, but it's still the same construct. Having said all that, because they have their existing systems, we are not going to try and change any of that. We want to graft ourselves within the E3 construct to be the enterprise level, production level platforms to enable any business, no matter what vertical they're in, whether organization, whether it's personal, public-private partnership, whether it's nonprofit, it doesn't matter. We help them to learn, leverage, launch, and earn by using the tools that we already have. We have a lot of tools, we got a lot of processes, and we're integrating ourselves into our construct. And the reason I'm prefacing it this way is because we have the opportunity to do a co-brand an event in November timeframe. And so I was hoping Ramona Rogers, the Royal Influencers, would be here because we're going to leverage what we've already done with the first incubator that we had at Super Company. That is the whole intent and purpose of this. Let me see if I'm going to try to present this. Okay, let's see. This is a structured approach. This is only the first pass based on my discussions with the stakeholders and principals, and then try to merge and integrate what we're already doing into an existing construct so we can synchronize everybody's roles and responsibilities to the October event. And then the idea is to have a summit in the summer of 2026. Okay, I'm going to share. How about now?
Okay, I can see it. Sorry, we're good.
Okay, go back and print. Thank you.
No worries.
All right. So you should be seeing the AI team event cadence and planning framework, correct?
Yes.
Correct. This is the presentation. As a structure framework. This is only a draft. This is only to give you an idea of where we were prior and thinking about an event, Where we were prior was how we were going to partner and collaborate with each of the stakeholders. We have done that. We've made connections. We made the networking with the principals for E3 Center with Mr. Harris, Mr. Butler, and Mr. Ellis. Those are all principles within the E3 framework. They each have their own models and systems and function differently. Mr. Harris creates applications, and just so happens, coincidentally, he's working on an application for minority business enterprises, just like we are with the Chesapeake Callus. We are working on a non-disclosure so that he can join us within our work groups and we can develop this application together and try to monetize it. In addition to that, we want this app to be ready and prepared for the November event so that we can market it to people who may be interested in it. I talked with Danny about this earlier to demo all the applications that we currently have already that can be easily customizable and monetizable. The November event leads to a summer summit. We all need to be on the same sheet, every one of us, including Ramona. We're not trying to compete with those individuals. We want to learn from them. We want to leverage. We want to launch. We want to earn with them. We want to do it with ethics, and we can do that. And that's why we're set up. November to me is a laboratory. Okay. And then the summer 2026, that really, if we do this successfully, will solidify us nationally as the leaders in ethical artificial intelligence, and we call it authentic intelligence. All this is a timeline. It really doesn't mean anything, but just to let you know that time is of the essence. We got some key deliverables, but I've laid this out so that we understand the roles, who's accountable, who's responsible, who needs to be informed, who do we need to coordinate with. We're going to use our weekly Cadence team meetings, the IW Workstation meetings for Thursday. Danny and I have already discussed the possibility of changing the time. We have to decide on what works for all of us so that we're all there. That's a very important factor in our planning. Because we are building towards something. We are actually building towards events. We're actively engaging in contract negotiations to start the logistical framework and flow of using their facilities in October. They've already agreed to work with us. It's just a matter of now developing the plan, the program, and the outcomes in terms of what we want and what we're trying to do to make sure everything is synchronized, to leverage off of stuff we were already doing, to leverage off of the applications we already developed, to leverage off of the frameworks of being able to train people to be certified. All these things, we want to bring this major value to let them know we have the capability. And oh, by the way, there's an upsell. You can do it yourself, do it for you, or do it with you. It's all about a system. This is our system internally. Don't pay attention to the dates and stuff, but the venue, I'm working on their cost. The reason I'm showing you this is because there has to be investments made. They have their own infrastructure. They have their own catering in-house. They have their own audiovisual. I think you guys remember we had Asher last time who helped us with the streaming. They have all that already in-house. We don't have to go anywhere, but they want to provide those services. So that's what we're negotiating right now. The next thing is to be talking about all these things will be happening simultaneously. The event, planning, the logistics, and developing the program at the same time in terms of the themes, the messages, and what outcomes we want for the event. As I said, I want to use the November event as a dry run for a larger event in the summer. The possibilities, the monetization aspects from sponsorships, from attendees, both hybrid and in person, from other training. It's all there.
Pastors logging in.
Say again?
Pastors logging in, just letting you know.
So all that, it's all there in terms of being able to monetize this event, but we have to have a why. The why is we're trying to develop a mindset shift. This is not about selling AI tools. It's about digital transformation, helping organizations understand that they need to collaborate, they need to network, they can't do it alone. The idea concept of what I call digital plantations. If you use a product or service, especially if it's free, you are the product. You're being data mined. We're trying to teach them a way through these low code, no code application development, the Zoho platform, to give them, if you're serious about owning your own data and growing and scaling and being the player in any domain, then you have to have a framework. That's what we're trying to impress upon anyone who attend these conferences. Yeah, AI, it's going to take your job if you don't, or if you don't, or your business, if you don't understand how to utilize it and ethically understand it. Now, what we have here is proposed right now because there's a holiday in November. That's the last, we think, viable weekend, the first week of November, before the end of the year, before people start getting busy. We are actually looking at the 9th, 10th, and 11th of November. Unfortunately, the 9th falls on a Sunday. It could be an issue, it could not. I don't know. It depends on how we frame it. For me, the Sunday, if we do Sundays, then it should focus on the fact that we're doing this digital transformation not only for nonprofits but for ministries. We want to show that, and we want to demonstrate that also. We have a use case, the Pastor Freeman app. He presented that to his church's leadership, Bishop St. James, and they were very impressed with what we had done, how we were able to bring the works of Pastor Freeman out to the larger marketplace. I just happened to see today on Facebook individual, and that's all he does. He helps pastors do exactly what we're doing. I sent his website to Christina. She can share it with you, but we are moving in the right direction. We just got to be more focused and intentional. There's a lot of moving parts. I don't have all the answers, but these are products that we already have, that we've already done. It's not theory. That's the beauty of what we're doing. We're showing them the possibilities. November is going to be, there's a lot of hype out there. People talk about AI all the time, but here's how you actually use it. And that's why we want to show people like Pastor Freeman. That's why we want to have influencers like Bishop St. James to come in. And if we do Sunday, he can do a keynote address about, obviously, I wrote a book about it, being Berean in the age of artificial intelligence. Again, this is something that we will have to build in, but that's my idea how we would integrate and justify doing this conference on a Sunday. Then the Monday will be going in, doing the demo of all the apps, Chesapeake, Catalyst with Danny, the AI Workstation, the air gap one with our Cadence computers that we're developing. In the afternoon, we bring in the entire team. They talk about their different models, and then we bring it all together. How we do that, I don't know. And then obviously we can't go nowhere without eating. Each day we're gonna have a break together. Tuesday, which would be Veterans Day, that's an actual holiday. You see Sunday, and then Monday is in between Veterans Day. Those that are able to do all 3 days will do all 3 days. I try to segment this so that each day an individual may want to come to, and if they're lucky, they can do all three. But the last day, Tuesday, that's when we have the demo for nonprofit AI. That's when we talk about the entrepreneurial edge, the incubator session, and trying to upsell people into our ecosystem. And then the closing would be the owner of the facility, Mr. Carter Lambert, if we can get him to do it. These are all proposed. Role assignments, there's a lot of moving parts. Event purpose, I have the strategic framework in mind, and that's what I'm trying to demonstrate here today. This is a matter of collaboration and coordination. There's a lot of things that we have to determine. When are we ready to brief the E3 membership? They are ready. We need to know Danny, Ramona. That's why I was hoping Ramona would be here, because we got to prepare for a demo session for the E3 team. And so they have requested that. And hopefully we can do that within the next 2 weeks. We need to talk about the framework. We use one of the Thursdays, not next Thursday, but the following Thursday, to do the team meeting and introductions. The Chesapeake Catalyst demo, I mean, that's big business. There are people out there working it. We got code and applications from several sources. I think we're on track to make ours the best national level model. And we're going to use this November event to get people to help us build it out. I think if we do it that way, that will be great. I just want to show you the application to the hard standalone AI workstation that Jonathan, our Cadence Computers, is building. We would load that code onto the standalone air gap AI workstation so that if the internet goes down, a small business still can function. And in addition to having access to other large language models, that's the intent of the AI workstation standalone that we're trying to develop. And we will sell that or try to market that, as you well know, Danny. That's what we're looking at doing. So all those things, like I said, as to borrow Danny's term, cadence, I like that because it is a cadence. We're marching to something. But I want everyone to be aware. I have to tell you the why. The why for me is not about growing or scaling. It's about a mindset transformation and creating a digital legacy for people who have been marginalized outside of this construct of being able to locate funding for grants and the time it takes. I want to help people do that and but develop it in a franchise like approach. I'm not trying to be a customer service person or grow to 1,000 people. My time is very important. I use this story and I told it to Ramona. It's about time. And I hope Pastor Friedman doesn't mind me sharing this. But in terms of being able to help families and being at home, being able to earn an income, this is a system that we want to be able to do that. For example, Pastor Freeman had an issue the other day and he could use some support from me. I happened to be on the phone with him and he had some car trouble. And I was able to stop what I was doing and go help him. I thought about it. What if I had been at work? What if I had a 9 to 5 job? It would be like, man, I can't get there until after I get off work. But no, I was able to drop it because I had the time. And that's what's important to me. It's not trying to make a job for myself. It's about time. The only way we are able to do that is with a system. The systems that we're trying to bring people, we're trying to help people reclaim their time, own their data, be able to have a repeatable process. And that's the bottom line. There are so many solutions and things that we can market and monetize. We have access to Deal AI, Famous AI, all this stuff. But guess what? The beauty of our model is there, if Deal AI went away or Famous AI went away, there are other tools out there we can tap into. It doesn't matter. We're creating a system and mindset. And so that's part of our jobs as digital transformation consultants. People say, okay, Deal ain't working, Famous ain't working anymore. And here's why. Even Zoho, our thing is mindset transformation and system integration. And then having a CRM and understanding what it takes to scale, what it takes to become an enterprise level. And that's what minority business enterprises, and that's where I'm hoping the value is. Not only helping them define and develop a strategy, but to understand the cost of digital transformation. This stuff is expensive, as Danny can tell you. And let's not talk about, and let's also a little bit talk about the integrating what happens when you own your own data. You essentially create your own blockchain because you can trace back everything you produce within your ecosystem. You own it. It's in your database, it's in your wallet. And not only that, crypto is very important too. You better find another form of processing and being able to receive payments. The dollar will suffer a blow, and you better have a blockchain wallet integrated into your business operations. That's my personal perspective. All this is I allow ChatGPT to come up with a marketing pricing framework for what we build. This is what it gave me. Will we charge these prices? Probably not, but I just want to show you based on what we're able to do, what ChatGPT thinks you should be charging for. And that just should give you an idea of the market. Will people pay it? That's debatable. All right. So if we were to do an email campaign and I wanted to introduce the fear of missing out, I tell my story about the fact that I was born in 1965 and at 5 or 6 years old, I remember my grandfather, he was a sharecropper. He actually sharecropped a sugarcane field. And I would go down there and he would have a mule, a wagon, and he'd be harvesting sugarcane for someone else and take it to the plantation. He could never get out of debt. He never got out of debt. It's just, he died as a, and his father before that was worked on a plantation. Was so what I'm saying is I'm old enough to remember those generations. But what it tells me is that the new plantation is digital now because everybody else owns your data. You give all your data over to them. What we're trying to do is introduce a new concept of you own the plantation. If you set up your enterprise level system, you are now the plantation owner and you're not being farmed and marketed like slave labor. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, they all own your data and they use it to market to you using their own algorithms. That is my story. What we want people to walk away with in 3 days is that what we want them to see, what we want them to have after this conference, those marketplace applications, they can see themselves in one of those applications, say, hey, I want that. Can you customize it? We already have applications. I asked Danny if he could give me a list of all the applications you have. I took a look at, I have probably over 20 applications that can be customized. We can resell those for six, seven, $800 based on the complexity of customizing it. For the Chesapeake Catalyst app, we're going to get them, the people who are there, to help us continue to build that application out. Crowdfunding, crowd knowledge, crowd. I think that's great. Once that 3-day conference is going to yield us a minimal viable product. After that, we throw them into our network. Once we get them signed up, a subscription base, we upsell them or whatever we need to do. That's the framework of the cadence that I want to use. It's going to change because once you deal with people, things will change. Now, I'll stop right here to see if there are any questions.
First of all, yeah, no, I'm excited. I think the path that you've laid out in the presentation deck is definitely a good one. The devil's in the details, of course. Once we continue to build out, I'm going to go into my calendar and block out November. I'm going to block out some dates, make sure I have no conflict. So we
Okay.
have the 9th, 10th, and 11th, correct?
Right.
Okay, cool. Let me drop that in there right now. If I don't, the time will
Is
fly
it
quickly.
is it 2026? It says 2026 on your presentation.
He meant this year. Make sure I get that in there.
We're just having issues with our backstage. We're starting to develop a landing page and event page, and we're experiencing issues with our backstage event module. Christina, you want to show what you've done? Have you done any more work on the landing page? And maybe we can help with the marketing copy.
For the landing page, I can share my screen. Hold on. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay. Currently, this is what we have right now. So I'll change this October to. Is it really November?
9th, 10th, 11th, yes. For now.
I'll change this later. I have not added links yet to this button here because I don't know what link you want me to add here. And then this is the description of the event that you have given me. We have this learn, leverage, and launch. And then why the summit matters, etc. We have featured demos that pitched with Arcadian, Airgraph Pitch, Signature System Lab, and then our agenda and speakers for day 1, day 2, day 3. I think I'm going to edit it again since you have modified the agenda already. This
We have
3-day event is all the what do you call this? The topic for the day 1, 2, and 3 are all the same, or are we going to still change it?
Well, again, the presentation I just laid out based on discussions, it changed
Okay.
since I talked to you. Thank you for being patient. I also sent you the speaker bios.
Yeah. I'll add those. I actually will just create a page for each bios, but so if they click the speaker name, it will direct them to the page of their bios.
Now, how did you build this? Because the Backstage event offers capabilities that help capture. So we got to figure out the backstage. I guess the same process we used for the last event at the farmhouse. That's the process we're gonna have to employ.
Oh, okay. You really need to talk to support to upgrade to that backstage microsite because we don't want to pay monthly for that site. And we're just going to use that once for our event. Monthly payment is
So,
kind
so
of
where did you build this in AEO?
yeah, it is an AEO from our workstation account.
Yeah, but as far as tracking, Joel, you can pull any links from here and push them to wherever you want. And once they get to wherever you want, your tracking is there.
We have the ability to develop tracking codes, and that's what she has to do. We have to develop coupons.
You can build all of that and embed them in here so that as far as anybody visiting the page, anybody clicking on a link, you get all the analytics and they're pushed to wherever you want that to go. If you're
Oh,
using Zoho, put the tracking codes in here that'll tell you somebody visited the page.
Is that what you get out of Sales IQ,
yeah,
Christina?
yeah, actually, we are using Zoho Checkout on our backstage as well. It is a different application from our Zoho. It is not in built in backstage. We can also use that here in our landing page using AEO funnel. We can still track our activities or whatever.
Exactly. It doesn't matter where you build a page. If you're going to get billed for hosting somewhere else, just host it in AI Workstation and have all of the links and visits tracked by whatever your analytics tool is. Just embed a pixel and go from there. I haven't played with that so much, but that's generally how they all work.
Do you understand that, Christina?
Yeah, I actually understand that because that is also what we did from our past events. We did not use our built-in checkout on backstage. We use a Zoho checkout separately, and I'll just link it to the backstage microsite. We can just add the link for the checkout. When they pay their tickets, they'll
Well,
just click that and then they'll direct it to that payment page.
let me just share why I like the Backstage event because it does create the micro app that's downloadable through the Play Store. I want the Backstage event, even though we can't have all of the schedule, the speakers, the sign up, because we have the upgrade, we're going to do that through Zoho Checkout. But in terms of being able to download the app and those features from the Backstage event, I like that.
What
Yeah,
app is that you're referring to?
the Backstage event app itself.
If they downloaded the backstage event, what are they getting from that?
From that Backstage event, it should have a link to this landing page. And so then it links from the Backstage portal to this landing page that we're developing right here. That's where it has all the details, the venue, where to stay, speakers, schedule. That page will serve as this, and then sign up. But
Um,
it links from the Backstage event page, and the Backstage event page just shows basic information, and then click here, and then it goes here.
hmm.
All right. I think I see what you're saying, Joel. So it's a matter of what's the best functionality to ensure it can scale the way you want it to scale. I completely understand. The conversation is just doing a little bit more homework into the different tools that you have, and Zoho has a ton of them. So I think it's just a matter of taking that time and figuring out if you need to contact support within Zoho and say, hey, here's what I want to do. Tell me how I can get it done the easiest, fastest, and least expensive. That kind of thing.
Yeah,
I
that's what
get
I'll be
what you're
doing.
saying.
I'll be doing that tomorrow, Christina.
All right. Perfect. I got
Uh,
it. Christina, you got anything else to show?
no, no.
Joel, we were speaking on one of the apps that we're building. I'll go ahead and show you where we are right now with that far. We still have some work to do on it. I'm going to add a third phase to this app, but I think it is going in the right direction. Certainly, it's more consistent. This is a typical challenge with doing what I do. Way too many browsers. This is what we're going to build out towards. It's funny because you mentioned a possible new partner as far as you building out government apps, but for the demo purposes, we can use either or. It makes a lot of sense because that particular version is further along than this version. The basic goal of this site is to allow you to take an RFP and create your own capabilities so that you have a capability statement. Make sure it is sufficient for the SAM.gov system and the other bidding systems. Make sure that all of your capabilities are well documented and that you're on the way to where you need to be to win these bids. And then, second of all, you want to have the ability to compare your capabilities with the RFPs that you're working. And third phase, which is coming soon, is the ability to have it write the proposal for you. These are the types of apps, and I'm just going to log in as an existing user just for effort of time here. And so if I log in, I was setting up my business profile as a HVAC company called Dynamic Air. And obviously, we just have placeholders for some of these things. I took this from a capability statement that one of the former customers had. And you can see where you can put in all of your capabilities, your codes, and all the things that you are doing, and just say, hey, we do this, we do that, and all that fun stuff. Just drop it right in there. You can also upload a PDF of the same document. You can select your certifications. Actually, I have a few more that I'm going to add here on the certifications. And then once you've done that, you can go out to the actual comparison now. You can do it a couple different ways. You can use the sam.gov URL. You can upload files. What I like about the upload file version is it's actually faster. I might move that to be tab number one, but it is faster in the sense of, let's find an example. I had some RFPs in here. So here's the actual solicitation request. We'll pop that in there and then we can upload it. Whenever you do a bid, there's multiple documents associated with it, and then you just tell it to analyze. So now it's comparing the capabilities to the documents. You can use any large language model. We're actually using OpenAI's latest API. It makes it really simple. On the matching, it's obvious this is a good match because the ones that we have are in alignment. There's a certification match, capabilities match, experience match, strengths. And so again, showing off that areas for improvement. The capabilities and experience are there, but he didn't have any examples of existing customers that they've done. That's where you got an 85 out of 100. But that's the basic flow of it. And then we'll get fancier with how this is displayed so that there's more information in there, more detail, breakdown option. You can download the detail of the response. The third step would be, now if you've seen my capabilities, you've seen the things that I have, what am I missing? Go ahead and write the proposal for me based on these two steps that we have so far. There's still work to be done, of course, but that's where we are as of August 21st.
And I see what we have to do with Chesapeake Catalyst, because Chesapeake Catalyst is a unique tool for the state of Maryland. I've given it cultural icons and names that will resonate with minority business enterprises and small businesses in general. What I envision is taking the code from what we've already done, adding the code from Marvin Harris's app, and then anything that you've done already, and we just merge those to get the best minimum viable product that we can develop. And then we take that to November's event and ask the people to improve it, and that's where we demo it.
Okay.
That's the flow I would like to see.
No, I understand. I agree.
All right. Well, that's what I have for today. What's the next steps in terms of developing a strategy to present to the E3 team? When do you think we're prepared to do that? And how do you want to do it?
Well, I think we should drop something on the calendar for early next week so we can continue to build out what the demo looks like, put together a real straightforward conversation about, hey, we're going to do this for the first hour, second hour, third hour, fourth hour, that kind of thing. When you are doing this event, are you going to have multiple speakers come in, or how are you thinking about for this event? I know Ramona is key to parts of these conversations.
What event you talking about? The November one?
Oh, no, you're talking about just the demo for the E3 team.
Yeah, the demo for the E3 team serves a couple of purposes. First, to
Mhm.
introduce us to the team, meet and greet. Then, what we propose to do for this November event and topic.
Okay, I got you. I was one
So
step ahead.
it's
Okay.
kind of the initial meet
Mhm.
and greet with Butler Harris. So I have to corral them. I'm thinking within the next 2 weeks, not next Thursday, but maybe the following Thursday.
Are we going to move the AI workstation call to a different time slot, or what are we thinking there?
Again, Christina, we need to make sure it's aligned with her schedule. And then I don't know what Ramona, she's has her own schedule, obviously.
Well, that's
It's
why I said noon might
you
work
know,
better for her. If she's got a lot of meetings, it
and then
might be.
Pastor Freeman, and I'm not sure what his time schedule will. I'm willing. What are you thinking?
Oh, I was just thinking about making it noon Eastern. That way it's consistent lunch and learn type of message. I'm open with it can stay at 3. I don't have a
No,
problem
I
with
think noon is fine. I don't have any problem with it.
I'm just trying to increase the overall participation of
Yeah.
the different.
Okay. I'm fine with that. We can start next Thursday if you want. We need to adjust the calendar,
Okay, let me
send
take a
out
look at it.
emails saying we're
Yeah,
moving to
yeah.
noon on Thursday.
I think it probably would be helpful for our East Coast team, and it just gives a little more symmetry there. And I think that would be good.
Oh,
If nothing else, do you want to set up a call Monday or Tuesday
yeah,
to work on the demo?
I think Monday's fine. That way we'll go through the melding of the different codes for the different apps.
Right, all right. So we're talking Monday the 25th. I've got a 2 o'clock. Is that good? Or you want it in the morning? I have a 9 a.m., I have an 11, and I have a 2.
11 o'clock.
11, all righty. I'll send out E3 demo prep. No worries. Okay. And you're going to see if Ramona can jump on? Or is Ramona part of that one?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just making sure. All right. I will put it on the calendar.
All right.
Matter of fact, we'll use this link here. That'll make it easy for everybody. And we have your deck to work from, so that'll help. We'll get it knocked out.
Okay. Well, thank you.
All right, then. I'll send this out right now. We'll speak again, sir. Keep pounding away on this till we get it done.
Super. All right.
All
Thank
righty.
you.
Bye-bye.